our next recipe is a roasted prime rib. Okay, now, this recipe is so versatile because aside from using the prime rib cut of meat, you can actually use any tender cut of meat for this recipe. What I'm using today is prime rib. If you want to use another cut like strip loin, okay, tenderloin, that's fine. You can do so. Of course, personally, I like prime rib. Now, the ingredients that we need for this recipe, very, very simple. I'm just using 4 ingredients. We have olive oil, we have iodized salt, we have freshly cracked black pepper, and last but not the least, smoked paprika. So we're using smoked paprika, not the regular kind. Why? Because we want that extra level of flavor where the smokiness from that paprika will play a very important aspect in the overall flavor of our roasted prime rib. Now, aside from that, I have with me here my onions, my carrots, and my celery. Okay, we're gonna surround this beautiful piece of meat with mirepoix so that later on, once this is done, once this is perfectly roasted, I'm gonna use that mirepoix to make a very, very delicious pan gravy. Okay? So, how do we do this? Very simple. I have with me here a roasting pan with the insert. So, I'm gonna be putting our prime rib right smack in the center of our pan. And I am going to drizzle this with olive oil, including the surroundings. I'm going to season this with iodized salt generously, including the sides as well as the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to turn that over. Okay, as you can see, since I'm using prime rib, you see these slits right here? That's where the bones came from. So this is a boneless prime rib. Very, very beautiful and flavor cut. So next to that, freshly cracked black pepper. For the black pepper, I'm just going to be putting black pepper on the top. Okay, then last but not the least, smoked paprika. There you go. Beautiful. Okay, there you have it. Okay, now I'm gonna surround this with our mirepoix. Okay, our onions, our carrots, and our celery. There you have it. Okay, there you go. Okay, so okay, so we're back and our prime rib is nicely and perfectly roasted. Okay, so at this point, I removed it from the oven and I am now going to let the prime rib rest. The resting stage is a very, very important stage in anything that you roast, okay? Be it chicken, be it pork, be it beef, okay? The resting is a very important stage because this is when the juices, okay, they mend together. If you cut this immediately without letting the meat rest, all the juices will just flow out, okay, which you do not want, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I am going to be setting this aside, okay, right here on the side, and I will allow this to rest for about 10 minutes. Okay, while we're letting that rest on the side, we will now get to the pan gravy. Okay, so pan gravy is very simple. Using the same browned mirepoix in the same pan, in the same roasting pan, I will heat this to medium-high heat and I will add butter to it. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is we're gonna be making a roux. Okay, and what is a roux again? Roux is a combination of ideally equal amounts of fat and flour. Now, your fat can be oil or it can be butter. Now, in this case, it's gonna be a little of both, okay? Because we have oil and natural fat from our prime rib, okay? And I added butter. So it's gonna be a little of both. So we're gonna keep the flame at, I turned it down to medium-low. Okay, and then we're gonna be adding our flour. So we're using all-purpose flour. Okay, so we're gonna be sure that we blend this all together. We're gonna be transferring this to a saucepan. So I transferred our roux with the browned mirepoix in a saucepan, and we continue to put this over medium-high heat. Okay, so I'm now gonna be gradually adding our brown stock. Okay. So as you can see, your first addition will thicken. Okay, so that's gonna thicken and thicken until you get to a point where that will start to thin out. That's pretty much it. I'm gonna be turning this off. I'm gonna be straining it, and then we're gonna get to slicing our roasted prime rib.